It is time for the final live stream of Novella. Come a long way. Peaks as high as Everest and depths as low as the trenches in the ocean. Massive successes, crushing moments where it feels like it's just too hard to write all the words we wanted to write. But through thick and thin, you showed up, you did some writing, hopefully you had a good time, you made it through at least every weekday in November. Hello, everyone. Hello. I see we got Frey with their popcorn in chat. Love it. Willow, Lee, Coral Sands. How's it going? Phantom, Zerg. Hello. Margot, happy to see you here. Ariana, hello. This Dora over here. Hello. Wolfie made it. Yes. Wolfie said, I just have to tune in for the last stream. Oh, man. Wolfie, glad you made it. Kate, hello, Kate. Made it in for the last sprint. You know what? I think that's called fashionably late. Right? Fashionably late. Glad to have you here. Last stream is the best stream. There are some special things planned for the last stream. Pasqua. I see you, Pasqua. Hello, Kate. I hope you like the stream. I know this is your first one. It's the last one. It'll be a little different from the pro writing aid stuff. A little more chaotic, a little more fun, but just as equally, if not more, productive. I think. Ray says, need to see what the last stream is all about. The last stream is always fun. If you remember last year for Novella November, here's what happened, right? Last year, we were wrapping things up. It was a whole new territory, right? I'd never done anything like this. And I don't know if everyone here had already done these big November events. I know Coral Sands had a shout out, Coral. And then last year, I was like, wait, we can't just do a normal final stream and just end it and go our separate ways. And that's that, because that feels kind of lame. So last year we pulled together everyone's stories, how many words they accomplished in November, the details of those stories, the titles, and we sort of did a little celebration of all the stories that have been worked on over November in our cool little community. Wolfie says the timer's already going. Don't worry about that timer. That just happens when I open up this part of my streaming software. So we did this big sort of, show everything that's going on. And it was good. It was fun. And then we ended it with a big hurrah. This year, we're doing a little more of the same. We're doing a little things different. We're going to go out with an even bigger, exciting moment. I don't know if you guys remember, we started last year's Novella November with a guitar solo in this very room. I don't know how many people remember that. So, of course, we got to do something big to end. But before we get to all of that stuff, the big fun celebrations at the end, this is still a Novella November live stream. And that means we're going to be productive. We're going to write on our stories. We're going to make sure we take advantage of all the time that we got. So that's the plan today. If you stick around to the end, I do not think you will be disappointed. Johnny says, what did I miss? Just a whole lot of rambling by yours truly. It's going to be a good one. Now, of course, if you are partaking in any other November challenges, you still have the weekend to try to hit your goals. I would love to hear how everyone's feeling right now. What's your word count? What's your goal? Are you going to achieve that goal? Do you feel like you're stuck on something? How is everyone feeling going into these last days of November? And especially out to Kate, who's brand new here, joining the writing theory community. It's a little bit smaller than the Pro Writing Aid streams. Don't know if you picked up on that. How's everyone feeling about their stories? Coral says a bit over 30K. Probably not going to hit that 50K. That's okay. That's okay. Coral, I also feel like I didn't start seeing you in these streams until a little bit later in the month. I know you've been busy doing your own things as well. Zinder, hello, hello. Phantom says, I'm not trying to go back to school on Monday. Hey, me neither. Me neither. Story's coming along good. Hello Jumper says, my goal was to finish a short story. Looking forward to finishing it off this weekend. I love to hear that. Willow says, I had stars in my eyes starting this challenge. Didn't we all? Didn't we all? Whoopi says, I was planning to achieve my 20K goal this stream, and I was waiting for this last stream. Oh, it wasn't really. Well, you know what? I'm going to give you that chance. I will say we're going to do slightly less writing than our normal writing streams, because we got to do so many other things. Watered Down Pop, hello. Feeling good. Finished the garbage draft. That's a good feeling. Moved to the first draft. Frey says, sadly abandoned my goal. It started so good. Oh, devastating. I hate to hear that, Frey. Hate to hear that. Well, Frey, you know, November ends, but your story and your goal doesn't have to end. You know that. You know that. Yours 85K or around there. Didn't expect it to be that high, but it is a banana story. Who all here is writing about bananas? B-A-N-A-N-A-S. You know? Who said that? Whose famous quote is B-A-N-A-N-A-S? Who was that? Was that, who was that? That wasn't Fergie. Was that J-Lo? Who did that one? Kate says, I love small communities. Glad to be here. Excited to stick around. Just past 18K. Would love to reach 25K by the end of Sunday. Oh my God. Well, I think if we're going to keep Kate on track, I think we better go ahead and get ready to do some writing. Gwen Stefani. That's it. I said, hey, look, all those early 2000s diva pop stars, you know, they're each great in their own right, but sometimes age just blurs all the lines. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you. Be at the spelling bee. Oh my God. Classic Bo joke. Classic. Justin says, won't be able to hang tonight. Have a good session. Glad to see you hop in though, Justin. And I think everyone, that should be our cue. We ain't no holla back girls. We are writers. Da 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 da. Was not paid by State Farm to make that joke. Kind of wish I didn't make it. Let's do some writing. A rough one. Look, they can't all be winners. You talk for however many hours over these live streams. They can't all be winners. All right, 25 minutes on the clock. Let's make some good progress on our stories. We'll do 1 or 2 sprints tonight before we go into all the other festivities. So make them count. Good luck, everyone. See you in 25 minutes. sprint number 1 is done. How'd everyone do? Willow, 502 words. Nice. Yeah, that felt like a pretty good sprint. That felt pretty good to me. I think I wrapped up with 756 on this news story. I like it. About to have my characters explore Circadia. What's that right? Kaylee, 342 words. Love to see the progress. Dirk, only 230 words. I'm multi-stream drifting. Are you hopping into another? Wait, multi-stream drifting. I know you're writing a sci-fi story, but initially my brain was like, Zerg's spending some time in this live stream and then going to watch someone else. Betrayer. You traitor. But now I realize you're just writing a sci-fi story. Oh, it is. Germa is live on Twitch. There you go. I see. I was correct in my first attempt. Pass Squad, 362 words. Wolfie, 450. Nice. Getting into a big fight. Big fight sounds fun. Big fight, big fun. Lantern Valley got hot cocoa prepped. Got a house coat on. Open to text doc. You're so ready. Ariana, 250. Nice. Good job, everyone. Good progress. Good progress. It feels good. It feels good. You know, I think when a lot of us think about something like Novella November, writing 50,000 words in a month, or whatever writing challenge you want to do, it's kind of hard to look at it like, here's this big chunk of text I'm going to write. Here's this crazy number I'm thinking of, you know, to write towards. But every single time we do one of these 25-minute sprints, I mean, it feels like just about everyone is landing like 300, 500, maybe even 1,000 words every 25 minutes. Suddenly a 50,000 word kind of goal feels a lot less daunting. 939 from Margot. Absolute machine. Yucko, haven't been paying attention lately with the live streams. Can you tell us more about all of your novels / novel ideas? Ooh, how much time you got? I'll give you a quick little thing here. We'll keep it short. So currently, Kate got stuck in the zone, finished a scene, added 99 words, started a new scene with 113. Let's go. For those who don't know, last year I self-published my first book, which is called Starlight Farm's Kennel for Talking Dogs. The cozy fantasy book about, you guessed it, some talking dogs. Something to make you kind of feel good, have a good time, enjoy it over the weekend. It's here for you. Check it out. That story, I did a full 4-part breakdown on my YouTube channel for how I came up with the idea, how I knew that idea was something I wanted to actually write about, how, you know, I took it from just a rough idea into a plot that was ready to write. I did 4 parts, 1 on ideas, 2 on writing, 3 on editing, and 4 on publishing. Coral says, I have that book. It's wonderful. That is so nice. Thank you. It's not perfect, but it's got a lot of heart. And I learned a lot in writing it. So then I took all of that. I think the best thing you can do for any sort of, you know, wanting to be a better writer is just to finish something, whether it's a short story, a novella, a novel. Just finishing something makes you learn what worked and what didn't work. Then a couple years ago, me and my wife made a trip to Alaska, and we stopped in this little town called Whittier, Alaska. And Whittier is a very strange town, and I knew immediately I wanted to write something about it. Whittier, Alaska is a real place that the only way to get into the town is through a 2-mile-long tunnel through a mountain. That tunnel is shared by cars and a train. Once you get into Whittier, all permanent residents there, about 200 people, live in one apartment building. And every single night, about 10:30, a big metal gate closes that tunnel off, and Whittier is just locked in with itself. I went and I visited there, and I immediately was like, there's a murder story to be told here. So last year I started writing that during November. You can find all of those live streams. If you're really ambitious, you could go through a whole other Novella November. There's a playlist for it where I was writing upon Careless Gray Hills. I'm working on the third draft of that one. I did that pretty much all throughout the Pro Writing Aid live streams. A murder thriller, something that's supposed to ideally have really charming and fun and interesting characters in a really interesting place. And then the story I'm working on for these live streams is a new magic realism, cozy fantasy type story. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this live stream, but it's 1 part Stardew Valley, 2 parts something else I haven't nailed. But once I do, you'll be the first to know. Those are the 3 stories I'm actively either promoting or working on. Of course, plenty of ideas like we all have. But my goal, I mean, you probably picked up on this. My goal is that when I'm going through this writing process, whether it's publishing that book, whether it's writing a new one, whether it's planning out the next series that I'm gonna write, is to make sure that process is transparent. So if you have questions about it, we can talk about it. Or if you're thinking like, oh, these other creators that I watch, like, you know, they don't show everything, you can come here to Writing Theory and be like, wow, Carson said planning a series was incredibly hard. Every other person, every other video I see just says, here's how to do it. But like, here's someone doing it, but actually being like, hey, here's the challenges I'm facing and how I'm overcoming. That's all this channel is about, the transparent part of it. What do we see here? Chicken Lover said, the whole time I was in Whittier, I was thinking about your story. Chicken Lover, I didn't know you went to Whittier. Super cool. Super cool. Yeah. For those who don't know, I put out a video on my channel about a month and a half ago where I went back to Whittier and I filmed myself sort of trying to uncover the ending of my story. It's super cool. It's got lots of really cool drone footage. Check it out. So the current novel you're writing on, what's the plot? We'll talk about it at the end of the stream. I have a little blurb. We have blurbs of a bunch of stories we're going to talk about. But this one's got a lot of heart too. Willow says, my novel is half thriller, action, half cozy slice of life. Hey, you know, that's called dynamics right there. That's called dynamics. All right. Yeah, all that being said, you guys have one more sprint in. Also, it feels weird to say it like that. Are you down for one more sprint before we start doing a couple extra little things? Lee says 440 words to 50K. They have another sprint in them. Kate says, let's freaking go. I may have added a word or two there. All right, 25 minutes on the clock. I'm ready to do some writing. Let's go. Let's go. Good luck, everyone. I'll see you in 25 minutes. Sprint number 2 is over. Those 25 minutes go by fast. I'm telling you. How did everyone do? Lee, 50K, you did it. That is so awesome. Willow, 319. 50K, nice. 227 from Ariana, 150 from Helljumper. That's so exciting. Took you 28 days. That's some good progress. What, 2,000-ish words a day? I know it's like 1667. That's like the magic number or something, but either way. Exactly 100 words from the gaming novelist. Also, so glad you're here. Hello. I don't know if I said hi before. Berg. Watching RV there yet on another tab. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. Wolfie, 436 words, 255 left to 20K. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Here's a little peek into the process. I just noticed something in my draft where I could really amp up some of the tension that we're feeling in the story. So I have, to give you a little bit of context, I have our main character, Devin, who has left home, lied to his father about where he's going, off to go find his mom. He finds this old campground that she has owned in the past and also finds out that she's missing. Lots of things are happening. One of the characters is this sleazy businessman, and he is coming up and offering money to buy the campground right now. Now, in the story, Devin's like, this is something my mom loved. I can't just sell it. I can't give it away, something like that. But I just had the epiphany halfway through this draft that we could add on much more tension to this kind of conversation and decision if we layer on some financial difficulty for Devon's father, maybe he's in poor health, maybe, he's been out of work for a long time, or maybe Devon's job that he just lost was helping pay for the house or something like that. Now, if I introduce a concept like that, you have this situation I'm already writing about has much more meaning attached to it. Now there's this whole idea of like, okay, maybe Devon sees this option as a way of fixing a lot of problems he has immediately. Now he's even more incentivized to potentially take this money. Or maybe he's feeling vindictive that his mother left their family at such a young age. And now, given this option, there's almost this idea of like, you know what? Maybe I'm owed this, So way better in terms of like, I think especially in what I call the proto draft, your very first try of getting things down in your story, this is the time and place to really reach for all those different kinds of ideas and see how they fit in your story. Here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to go back to the beginning of my story and change anything. It's a bad idea. And even if you have an epiphany in the middle of your writing process, in this case, I'm 41,000 words in, don't do it, right? Make a note, keep writing your story. If you want to, make the change and just write assuming you have made that change already, even though you didn't go back there and do it. If you start to go back and try to fix these kind of things, you're going to get bogged down in all these little edit things and you're going to lose progress in your story. So in my case, what I'm going to do is I've already written down a note here in Scrivener, which is exactly why the side panel exists, to say, hey, this is a change that I think I need to make. And I'm going to continue writing my proto draft, making the assumption that like from this point on, now that I have this whole idea, maybe I'm going to treat Devon's dad, the character in the story, in a little different light. Maybe I'm going to emphasize some things I wouldn't have emphasized before. But I already know I'm going to do a big edit and a next draft in the story anyways. That's when I'm going to actually make that a reality. So yeah, shout out to the proto draft. Kate says, added 453 words. If my mental math is correct, you're in the wrong place to be asking that question. 655 words. Lantern Valley says, stop hurting them. We make the characters to hurt them. Put that on a shirt. JSam says, my bear tracker was suspended in the process of finding out why something happened with verification. So this month I wrote 43,000. That is amazing progress, JSam. I'm sorry the tracker thing fell through like that. But also, good progress. Wolfie got confused while writing, spent 5 to 8 minutes trying to figure out how the ravine would look if it was flipped 90 degrees. How the ravine would look if it was flipped 90 degrees. That, for lack of a better word, would that just be like a cave? Crevice? Kayla says, is Devon racked with guilt at the thought of selling the memory of his mom? I think selling, and what I've written in some earlier parts is, Devon came here expecting to find his mom. He had this old letter, found this old letter in a suitcase about where she was now. And he came here and he's seen how other people have, talked about having his mom in their life. And about how like he was going here expecting to find her and then has discovered that she's been missing for 4 years. And to sell the campground, one, it doesn't quite feel like it's his to sell, but two, would also be maybe admitting that his mom, who is missing, is actually gone forever. I feel like that's why he doesn't want to sell it. Those two things. It's not really his to sell, it's his mom's. But then also, if he does try to make that sort of decision, well, what's that say? That his mom is officially gone forever? Missing is different than dead. Put that on a shirt. Don't put that on a shirt. 353 words from Coral. Nice. War Bagel says, how do you handle that with alpha readers? So you have to remember, hold on, let's go big face here. That's a good question, Johnny. Saying, what do alpha readers do in this kind of situation? For those who don't know, there's alpha readers, beta readers, and the often hilarious gamma reader, which you almost never hear about. Alpha readers and gamma readers are both way less common than involving beta readers in your process. You've probably heard about beta reader. An alpha reader is someone where you're going to take a very early draft of your story, right? Maybe I'm going to go through my proto draft. Maybe I'm going to touch up 1 or 2 things. But instead of going through this rest of the process, maybe with a developmental editor that's going to take a lot of money, maybe instead of, I don't know, doing something with your story, then you could choose to involve alpha readers, which typically tends to be someone else who is either very aware and practiced with stories or is an author themselves. And they're going to look at your story, understanding that it's an early draft, but they're going to provide feedback on larger story things. Things like big plot movements, character arcs. They're going to give you feedback on, did it feel like this character wasn't doing enough? Big things. It's typically you sharing an early draft with another story focused or story minded person and just getting some feedback earlier on in the process than you would with other kind of editors. Wolfie says we shouldn't forget ARC readers. We can talk about them. I kind of consider those different things. Beta readers, you've probably heard of. Beta readers are people that you involve in your process after you have edited the book as far as you can take it with the knowledge and objectiveness that you have. We are writers. We are going to spend hundreds of hours writing a story. And at some point, we're going to fix everything that we can think to fix in our story. But someone with a perspective that's not fully wrapped up in our story like we are can look at it with new eyes and identify different things to be. Then you can make your editing decisions based on that feedback. Do you want to improve this? Do you not care about that feedback? You got your story. Now, you have the gamma reader. Gamma readers, which for me, I think is just kind of a goofy name. Gamma readers only really do one thing. You have edited your story and it's done. You basically have the final draft of your story ready to send out to the world. Gamma readers are not ARC readers, ARC readers. Gamma readers, you take basically your finished product and you give it to 5, 10, 15 people and you ask them to read it. And their only goal. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and say, because I saw Zerg's comment here. If you are here, if we are all at this point in our career, if we're self-publishing, unless you just happen to have a close friend who you can send an early draft, none of us are using alpha readers. This is just a term you might come across, probably more prevalent with cohorts of writers who are, entering their career together and supporting each other. Gamma readers have one job. You give them the finished product, they read it, and they tell you if there's any little typos or mistakes that you've missed. That's it. Their goal is not to give you feedback on anything big. Their goal is not to say, this character felt good, or this character's dialogue felt stilted. It's only to say, you missed this typo. You used the wrong form of the word there in this sentence. They give you back those notes. You punch them up. You now have, ideally, a error-free final product. Similar to a proofreader, Zender says, basically the same thing, except instead of going to a single professional person, you're giving your book to 5, 10 to 15, in a perfect world, 15 people who are already excited about your book. It's kind of a way to involve people who are sort of at the fringe of, like wanting to support you, to involve them a little bit more in the process. Consider this super fans, consider this friends, consider this family. I would not recommend you do that with beta readers. Gamma readers, that can be. Gamma readers come before the Hulk hipster. Is that the truth? Lee says, how many drafts did you write for your book that you published? I would say it probably went through 5 to 7 drafts. if you watch my video, I did that 4-part video. You will look at the editing part 2 of that video. It goes through every single edit that I did. Proto draft, punch that up to the first draft. So I'm catching any mistakes. I'm looking at foreshadowing I need to include. Am I missing any scenes? I understand my characters better now. I'm going to edit those. That becomes my first draft. Second draft is going through and catching any of those final glaring issues. Then I get feedback from a beta reader or an editor, and I apply that feedback, and that becomes my third draft. Then I go through and I just try to tackle spelling and prose and style and grammar and make sure everything sounds how it needs to sound when it's being read out in your head. And this involves me reading everything out loud, which is tiring. And then you do all your last little typo error things, and that for me, that's where I'm at right now. Now, the thing is, I always say this when it comes to editing. My process is probably going to change the more I do it. We all have a ton of practice writing stories. We have a lot less practice editing those stories, and even less practice in doing all the marketing that comes after that. There's a whole other side of book business. It turns out writing your story, I feel like, is less than half of the actual job of an author. All right, let's see. Let me catch up here. If anyone wants a beta alpha reader, I can send you mine as a short thing. Maybe. Sorry, was that a little obnoxious? Maybe you'd be interested in joining us for the 12 Chapters of Christmas, a December event starting next week. What? The 12 Chapters of Christmas is an event we're holding in our Discord where you can come in and share a chapter from your story. And everyone who shares a chapter makes a goal to try to read and give feedback on 12 other chapters, 12 other writers' chapters. That makes sense. And then ideally at the end of the 12 Chapters of Christmas, not only have you read a bunch of awesome works from other people in our community and given constructive feedback, you did a really great job with your character here. This dialogue felt a little awkward to me. Maybe I would rephrase it this way. Your exposition was a little heavy. I think you could trim it down in this way. Your plot was so much fun. That kind of feedback. You give that feedback to 12 other people, and you look at your chapter, and 12 people have stopped by your chapter or more and said, hey, I love this. I can't wait for that book to come out. 12 Chapters of Christmas. It's in the Discord. Link below if you are not already part of the Discord. So that's fun. All right. We said ARC readers, ARC readers. I assume they're called ARC readers. Because we were talking about beta, alpha, gamma readers. ARC readers are a little different. ARC readers are people who you send your story to prior to its release, solely so that on the day of release, your story can get an influx of reviews. Oh yeah, I should also say, thank you, Kaylee. Advanced Reader Copy, ARC. So that is a part of marketing, not so much a part of editing. That is getting your book into the hands of readers so that on day one, when people are coming to pick up your book because they heard that your book is out today, there's already some reviews there to help make it. Now, the thing is, hey, in a true life world, here's a little note here. In the real world, if you're going to have ARC readers, there's two kinds. There are people who you're familiar with, and then there are services that you use to get your book to people who you are not familiar with. Case of this being, there's a couple different websites. I can't remember them off the top of my head. The thing is, are any of those going to be good representative reviews? If I give my book to my wife and she reads it and she puts an Amazon review on it, which I expect her to do, Melissa, if you're here, is that review going to be like a true to life, this was a good or bad book? And then at the same time, when you use big services to get your ARC books into the hands of readers who want to do this as a service, either because they want free books or they like the process or they're making money from it. What I have often heard from other people going through this is that the services might get your book into the hands of people who are not really looking to read books of that genre. If my cozy fantasy book goes to someone who is super into science fiction, that's not really my ideal reader. And their review is probably going to reflect that. I got bored in this part of the book. You know, I thought the setting was mundane. What they really wanted was science fiction, you know? So take that in mind. So yeah. All right, let me turn this fan on in here, and then I got a little surprise for you. All right. So first, step one, not the surprise. Writing Theory t-shirts now available. You can find them, I think, below the live stream right now. There's no Black Friday sale. I don't know how to do that, but they're not that expensive anyways. They call me the salesman. All right, not another guitar solo, but don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Do it. I'll freaking do it. I'll go get the 7-string guitar right now and play you some Korn. Shout out Korn. Wherever Jonathan Davis is now, shout out. Oh God, we're goofy here. We're goofy. Now, what I want to share with you next, as I pull it up. Hold on. I'm almost there. I promise. I'm getting there. As long as my computer doesn't crash. Could you imagine? By the way, I have a new laptop upstairs. It just didn't seem right to try to shuffle around laptops the last day of Novella November. But hopefully next year, no crashes, no audio issues. All right, one and all, I would love to introduce you to the 2025 Novella November Community Stories. Everyone, this is the culmination of so much work by so many people in our community, and I would simply be remiss to not say that we should flip this live stream around. It's not about me. It's about what we're all doing with our stories. So here is the deal. The way this is going to work, in the Discord, I had shared a thread for everyone to post some information about what they've been working on this November. I have taken that information to showcase it here, along with a couple other fun little surprises. On top of that, if you see a story that interests you, there is a very good chance that the author of that story is in this chat right now. I know. So if you see a story that you think looks especially interesting, say something. Either smash our little YouTube reaction with the 100 or the party hat thing. Go crazy on it. If we're lucky, that author will decide to partake in the 12 chapters of Christmas. All right, I am so back. Confirm for me the microphone is back. Also, Zinder, that acronym, that's a tough one. It does not quite roll off the tongue. Tell me, are we back again on this one? Because that would be nicer. All right, we're back on the nicer microphone. We're back. All right, so let everyone know if there's a story that piques your interest. We want authors to see that people are interested in their story and come hang out with the 12 chapters of Christmas. That would be great. Number two, it just feels good. So like, do things that feel good. Boom, end of story. Let's keep going. So a couple things here. Some live stream stats. Throughout the month of November, plus the 1 week of planning time in the last week of October, including the Pro Writing Aid live streams, we have conducted 45 live streams, created 70 hours worth of content, and accumulated roughly 4,000 views across all the live streams. Lots of repeating people, of course, to be fair. But these numbers are crazy to me. That's insane. 70 hours of me yapping? I would have closed that tab days ago. I don't know how you do it. Next up, we used TrackBear. For those who are part of this whole journey, TrackBear is a really fun, interesting, and totally free service that you can sign up for to track your own writing. And it has a feature to do leaderboards so that you can track your goals along with everyone else. Now, look, the thing is, we had some outliers. We had some outliers in TrackBear. Some people who stand out for all the hard work that they did. But here's the thing that's most exciting to me. I want to ask you, what do you think the total word count for TrackBear stories, these are specifically the stories being tracked in TrackBear, come out to? Because I calculated them all up. 400,000, 660,000. Let's see who can get close. I'll give you a second to guess. Around 600,000, at least 5. Zerg, you're onto something. How many people participated? I'd say in the TrackBear, we probably had 12 to 14. 300,000, 387,000, 550. Now here's the thing. Margot's in here, and Margot has already put together over 100,000 words. Bilbo Baggins says one Brandon Sanderson's week's worth. It really feels like that, doesn't it? You know, I bet Sanderson would get a lot more work done if he tuned into this live stream once in a while. All right, last chance to make your guess. And we'll see who's closest. Pasquale says, I haven't entered my TrackBear for the day yet. I'm not updating the screenshot. I'm sorry. I see 490, 397, what the? Kaylee, is that 1.2 million? Vibing like 800,000 words. Our final answer. Just the community in TrackBear, we wrote a collective 472,817 words as of 2 hours ago. And I gotta tell you, I think that's pretty stunning. We had plenty of people who were writing in the community who were not doing TrackBear. So if we were to take this and just extrapolate it out, we are definitely over the 500,000 word limit or mark. But hey, you know what? I really liked using TrackBear, and I think I'm gonna try it again in the future. Congratulations, everyone. This is a lot of hard work. And then that brings us to the actual stories of the community. To show you how this is done, I guess I'll start with my own. Twist my arm. I don't know. The story I've been working on for these live streams, I've told you about Upon Careless Gray Hills. This is Tiny Doors, and over the course of November, I wrote 40,000 words of it. When Devin loses his job, the last thing he expects to find is a letter from the mother who vanished from his life decades ago. Following her trail leads him to the small town of Goodview, Virginia, where he learns she once ran a beloved campground called Paradise Acres, until she mysteriously disappeared years ago. Staying among the overgrown weeds, leaky pipes, and empty cabins, Devin begins a search for purpose by restoring the place his mother loved, uncovering long-buried secrets, eccentric neighbors, and the surprising magic hidden in the surrounding woods. Tiny Doors by Carson Long. Of course, these are all working titles. We're just doing our best. I'm excited for Tiny Doors. I got a good feeling that it's going to turn out to be a very emotionally satisfying story. But, I mean, you've heard me talk about Tiny Doors all the time. That's not why you're here. The reason you are here is for other stories, like let's try this one, Nigareth by Wolfie, who is in the chat, I believe. Yes, Wolfie is still here. 11,000 words by Wolfie this month. By the way, some of you shared, like, here's how many words I wrote in the month of November. Here's how many words the story was. I just grabbed whatever my heart desired, to be honest. And I would love to read you a little bit about the story. Kale has spent years searching for another human, any proof that he isn't the last soul alive, but every trail ends in emptiness, every question in silence. That changes the night he rests at a mysterious soul altar deep in the forest. A haunting vision, a tear in reality, and a void portal draw him into a place where death is not the end. Because when Kale dies, he wakes up again at the altar, trapped in a cycle he cannot understand. Now he must face shifting trials, cling to his sanity, and unravel the truth behind the eerie realm known as the Nigareth. And let me know if I've mispronounced that. A place that feels impossibly familiar and may hold the answer to everything he's feared. Congratulations on your work this month, Wolfie. You should be proud of all the progress you made. Looking forward to hearing more about this. Come join the 12 chapters of Christmas. Next, we got Project Ailment by Watered Down Pop, who was in the chat earlier today. Queen Victoria tasked legendary knight Ulrich the Blade of Sutton to rescue her daughter, Princess Penelope, from the witch, Ophelia, who has lured her away during the Academy's ball. The Academy of Jones Knights holds a yearly ball for the Dawn of Light celebration. Every 4 years, the Academy holds the ball celebrating the graduating knights who have hopes of being selected for servitude in the kingdoms of Valrendor. Underestimating the task, Ulrich travels to the witch through, y'all are killing me, Viralthane. Shout out. A once lush forest now corrupted from the scourge thanks to Morvellion, the Scourge Weaver, that she has turned into her home. During the battle, Ophelia curses Ulrich with her dying breath. The curse is slow and painful, his body slowly fading and concern growing amongst Queen Victoria and the Academy. He's sent away to an exiled sorceress for help. There, he is discovered by a boy who was inspired by the stories of the legendary knight with hopes of being trained by him. Ulrich will need to battle his body and mind, struggling with his new life and finding new hope and honor in a young apprentice. Nice. Awesome. Watered Down Pop. I don't know if we still have Watered Down Pop in here, but I hope they see this. 10,000 words of the story put together. Can't wait to see where it goes. Our next story, Shork by Captain William. In a city, on an island, on a planet made mostly of ocean, hold on, I gotta read this like the guy from Twilight Zone. Hold on, let me turn off the music for this one. No, we'll keep it going. In a city, on an island, on a planet made mostly of ocean, a man wakes up in another body, another sex, another species. The planet's native inhabitants, biologically adapted to the water world. that so happens to superficially resemble terrestrial. Guys, what is with these crazy words? Elasma branches. This being absolutely not on his bucket list, he seeks out answers. Why? Who? What? His investigation will take him high and low, fighting against his unusual circumstances and an oppressive culture as he uncovers a conspiracy that will shake the community to the core. Johnny says this is just torture Carson hour. Look, I'm gonna be up here and pronounce all the words to the best of my ability. Thork. I like that. So Captain William, 38,000 words throughout November. The story is making some progress. Excited to see where it goes next. Next up, Margot, who has put so much work in. Margot is the only person who I accepted more than one story for reading the blurbs. Consider it your prize, Margot. The first story, The Turning Point by Margot at 58,000 words this month. Half-turned zombie hunter Tim Victor and aspiring psychologist Jim C. McGrath find their lives turned upside down after a new medical breakthrough, Neuro-Z, backfires by causing zombism. The two are forced to put their differences aside after being tasked to protect a child, Park Jae-min, from zombies, but find he is suffering critically from the conditions Neuro-Z is designed to treat. Nice. And I've heard rumblings in the community. I've heard rumblings that people really like Turning Point. So maybe if we're lucky, we'll see a little bit of Turning Point in the 12 chapters of Christmas. The next story, Bonds Beyond the Board by Margot, is 11,500 words. It is a series of short character heart-to-hearts for fans of the board game to get to know the playable characters and see how they interact when universes cross over. Which sounds like a story that would be so much fun to write. If you already have your universes already developed, I'm jealous. And lastly, Prayer versus Zombie. Wait, hold on. Prayer versus Vampires by Margot at 35.5 thousand words. A temptress demon attacking Crypt Town, love the name, chases down a local theology student who's actually quick to fight back, given he's invulnerable to her charms. Except she's actually an angel sent down to help him work on his anger issues. I like this one. This has some vibes like, I feel like there's a TV show or something called like Good Omens, which is about angels coming down. Kind of get vibes like that. Very excited, Margot. Margot, great work this November. I'm sure you're doing great work all year round, but specifically in November, love to see all the work you put in. Everyone looks at these numbers and they're like, wow, Margot is so fast at typing. But what I see is, wow, Margot, you put in a lot of work and it shows. Wolfie, thanks for joining us. It's 3 a.m. You said, get some sleep. You should watch the recorded VOD after to see what you missed, though. Lots of words, Margot, lots of words. Next, we got Dawn Through the Parasol's Eye by Jax Willow. 27,000 words. The existence of shades are as old as history. Soul-eating entities with skin as black as ink and a presence as cold as ice. They don't have an end goal. Their only purpose to steal, kill, and destroy, and most of all, to consume. One of these shades meets Dawn, a shy, fragile, noble girl that's still coping the loss of her father, who died 3 years prior. In a last-second decision, the shade possesses her umbrella, all the while making a vow to not just as she enters a new school, but also to protect her from the rest of his species. Congratulations, Willow. Tons of great work put in this November. I feel like Willow, I can't remember if you were joining on day one, but since you entered the community and since you started showing up in the live streams, you've been here almost every single day. Way to put in the work. I'm excited to see more of your story. Day one. Shout out day one. Day one. Congratulations, Willow. You made a bunch of great progress, and I hope you had fun doing it. Next, we got War of Love by Dora Martin at 73,935 words, and likely even more by now. In the War of Love, Flora, a sentient banana, an ex-black licorice ops agent, leads a half-melted snack division across burnt sugar battlefields where memory hardens into candy glass. Above the Flats, Archive, a corporate god engine, rewrites reality from the Extractor Tower while High Inquisitor Threx names Eraser Mercy. Flora fights for Rex, the silver-furred llama who once raided porch crates with her under a violet sky, and for every misfit who followed her into rebellion. When the Phantom Real Protocol awakens as their last defense and possible kill switch, Flora must decide how much of her own heart she will burn to keep love alive. Do we still have Dora in here? There they are. There was a section in this blurb where I was like, I've heard of all of these words before, but never seen them in this order. It felt like a have you ever seen where it's like I feel like I've seen like a French song where the writer of the song was like, I wrote the song so that it sounded like English to people who don't speak English, and it's just like a bunch of syllables back to back that they're in roughly the right order. I think it was the Extractor Tower while High Inquisitor Threx names Eraser Mercy. I think that was the... Well, Dora, you have made some incredible progress, both in the Pro Writing 8 sprints and in the live streams, and I love to see this word count so high. You've done an amazing job. Keep it up. Of course, come and partake in the 12 chapters at Christmas. I know there is another member of the community. I would love to see your stories side by side. Oh, dang. I'm blanking on their name. Dang. I can't open up Discord now to check. But either way, I love the stories that leave me thinking, wow, this is such an original wild idea. War of Love. Next story we got. Next is Sought by Chicken Lovers, 16,481 words. 50 years ago, a mysterious event changed society as we know it, filling the earth with deadly beasts. In this world of monsters lives Asili. Let me know if I pronounced that right. A mostly normal farm girl with a very not normal name. Hey, at least I'm justified with the not normal name. Who ekes out a living with her family growing tobacco. By day, she is a farmer, but at night, she uses her rare gift, a bond with an eldritch entity, to carry out the illegal salt trade that brings in the money their family needs. She's content with her unusual life until a stranger arrives at her door. Suddenly ripped away from her family, Asili is thrust into a millennia-old interdimensional war. The survival of her world and perhaps humanity itself may now rest in her hands. Love it. Chicken Lover, 16,000 words, and a story that feels like it has what feels to me like unlimited potential. Anytime you throw in a little sprinkle of eldritch entities, you've got my attention. I love it. I love it. Chicken Lover, I know you don't send the most messages in the chat, but whenever I see your name pop in here, I feel like we got the whole crew. So happy to see your story in here. Hope to still see it grow and make progress. I love a good eldritch entity. Next, we got Collapse of Society by V for Vindication, who I don't know if they've been making it to the live streams, but very present in the Discord. 30 years ago, a young Zell fled with his family on the journey as his world imploded with unrest and chaos. Now he's an up-and-coming defender in a small bastion of civilization, saved by the chaos of his god, deity. He's pulled into a conference where the religious sects vie for dominance in the new theocracy. However, his questions start adding up. What really happened during the fall of their previous society? Is the society doomed to fall as well? Join Zell, his wife Tempe, and mentee Ness on their journey through meaning and truth in a society heavily inspired by Gnosticism and the looming fear of collapse. They come to question the history that was taught to them and each other, and words. Also, trains. You had me at trains, which unfortunately was the last word, but you had me at trains. 33,000 words. Great progress. V for vindication. If you eventually see this, hope to see you in the 12 chapters of Christmas. Choo choo. Choo choo. Let me get some tea. I'm over here giving soliloquies. Words I ain't never seen before. Next up, we got Skies of Silicon. Kaylee, you want to help me out? Did I finally say it right? I need to wait for your answer before I continue. Oh, thank God. I have always mispronounced this word my entire life. I get it so mixed up with silicone. Of course, cone, C-O-N-E at the end. It just doesn't connect. Kaylee Dragonfly, 34,602 words. Kaylee has been in almost every single one of these writing sprints, both Pro Writing Aid and the Writing Theory live streams, meaning Kaylee may be the person who has heard me speak the most throughout the month of November of anyone in my life. And that is including my partner. Who knows? Who knows? I haven't counted the words, but that may actually be true. It may be factual. A clone rejecting her mother's monstrous legacy. A vengeful victim turned assassin. A team coerced into serving a nefarious agenda. Stranded together on the dangerous exoplanet Zakiri. These bitter enemies' survival depends on setting their differences aside. But Zakiri's beauty belies an ancient and terrible secret. A power so great it could save the galaxy or destroy it. You know, I've read bits of Kaylee's writing before. I know what to expect when it comes to finally getting my hands on the Skies of Silicon, and I'm excited. I'm excited. Kaylee, congratulations on all the progress you made. I know you started to feel a little unwell towards the end of November. I know it was a little bit harder to make all the progress that you wanted towards the end, but you put in so much work. Don't let those last couple days of getting stuck, of feeling so bad, stop you from recognizing the crazy amount of progress and success that you found in writing this November. Shout out. Next, we have Saviors by Zergo, also named I Hate Numbers on Names in the live streams. Now, I will preface this. Zergo has been working on 3 parts of this overall narrative. I took the one that they've worked on the most for Novella November, but it does, there in the Discord, you can read more about their book 1 of the series and book 3 that follows this one. This is Saviors right in the middle. So Zergo, you might hate that I did that, but I'm sorry. There was a lot of text on the screen that I was trying to get over here. Apologies. I hope that's okay. Hey, yeah, wait a minute. War Bagel just made a great point. Oh, that's book 1 of 3. Sorry, Zergo. Zergo, what's with all these numbers? What's with all these numbers in your name up here? Something's not adding up. And it's not 3 or 0. Thank you. Zergo, this has been a story that Zergo's been working on for a long time. I've read some of their writing. I don't know if it was this book or one of the other ones, but this has been their main project for November, if I remember correctly. When the perfect job position opens, the entire country applies. Perfection, cousin of Perfect Man and member of the leading team of superheroes in the planet, has uncharacteristically registered her own trainee team, allowing Alex, John, Valentina, Dawn, and Toby to register their superpowers and join her as apprentices under the Superhuman Regulatory Agency. Dang it! You know, the SHRA. We all know that one. While they get to know each other, a new team of villains makes their presence known by attacking another trainee team in their civilian clothes. This sparks an investigation war where Perfection and her boyfriend Solar struggle to discover and contain the threat while the villains race ahead with their plan, resurrecting the most destructive villain ever recorded and unleash it on the city. Chicken Lover, I'd like to see you try this. I've been looking forward to this story for over a year. I think it's been over a year since I heard about this one. Clearly, there's a lot of words in here. Oh, and I did say that this story now has less than 187,000 words. I think that's right. Being trimmed up. I don't know. Zergo, keep us updated on your story. And of course, 12 chapters of Christmas. Come on. All right. Next we got... Oh, wait. This is it. I added book 1 and book 2 so that we had the context for this one, who I think this is the one you've been working on for November. Clarify for me, Zergo, in the chat. I'll go ahead and read this one. I did a mix-up. My bad. Reeling from spoilers. Reeling from Solar sacrifice. Should I read this? Oh no. Reeling from Solar sacrifice and rebuilding the hold left by Queller's power, Marjorie City finds renewed hope, even in Perfection's absence. Her saviors. Slowly growing their legend, the team is forced to deal with a new personality. Sugarcoat, the villainess who whispered the plan into their ears and allowed them to act first. Sugarcoat has a different plan. To run away from her captors and disregard the probational trainee position she's been offered as a reward for helping them save the city. While the team struggles with her personality, the chess pieces keep moving. Whoever revived Queller has found their way to Hush, the unleash the monster in the city. Perfection, now under the name of Polaris, must navigate the puzzle and find the one responsible before the rest of the heroes get picked off one by one. In the sky, a prison breaks and a third queen is added to the chessboard. You know what? If anything, this pairing up here just lets me know that... Which one was the... That Saviors has some major events that are going to happen, and they're well thought out because we get to see the ramifications in silence. Love it. What's that? Darth Vader was really Luke's father. Mods, no spoilers in chat. Let's take care of that. All right. Next, we got the Aurora Guardian by Ray. I don't know if we have Ray in chat. Let me know if we have Ray in chat. 30,000 words. Alex Darwin, a man who lives in the mountaintop dystopia Ardent City. Cut off from the rest of the world, the people of Ardent live in a false paradise as monsters and demons attack the innocent from the shadows. It's up to Alex and his allies to find the source of these foes and stop them. All while Alex is dealing with personal drama in regards to a girl named Madison he appears to have a strong connection with, but she is unaware that he even exists. Relatable. The Aurora Guardians is planned to be a multi-generational story, with each installment following a different hero. Congratulations on the progress you made this month, Ray. Again, I don't know if we have you in chat or not, but I'm a sucker for a multi-generational story. Can't wait to see what you do with it next. Then we have General Contractor in Another World by Stray Bubble at 2,745 words. Stray Bubble, I think you might be in here. I love the title. Meet Calvin, a general contractor who finds himself in an unfamiliar world with a thirst for adventure. There's only one problem. He can't fight. No matter how hard he tries, his new crafting powers aren't designed for fighting. So he needs to be creative with his powers and slick enough with his words in order to survive. Nice. This one sounds like fun. Stray Bubble. Keep working. I want to see that number count rise. I want to see the story expand. But good job throughout November. Looking forward to more of it. It's one of those isekais. Next, we have The Zealots Hold by Helljumpers at 3,112 words. It's a short legend / myth from a civilization of a fantasy species in my world. It's a story of a zealot discovering his sacred temple torched and ruined and finding an enemy warrior, a fire draconi, waiting for him outside. A warrior who used to be his friend and also is responsible for the desecration of the temple. During a duel, the zealot ends up wounded and falls unconscious, thinking he's died. He finds himself in a different place, a sacred place, and finds out that it's a vision from his god, who appears and speaks to the zealot himself. The god divinely intervenes, giving the zealot a gift, powers beyond that of a normal storm draconi. Then the zealot wakes up, and now he must finish the fight. This is a legend of how the first legendary hero of his civilization came about. As this divine power eventually spreads through the zealot's lineage, his descendants basically become like demigods. Whew. Helljumper, you've been here for most of the live streams. At least most. Sometimes you're popping in, but you're always here, ready to write, ready to bring in a good attitude to the stream, and I appreciate that. If you are so interested, come on over to the 12 chapters of Christmas and get some feedback on your writing, share feedback with others, and share part of your story with the world. Love it. Excuse me. Next, we have, and also I believe last, we have Project Moose Shifter Story. I'm assuming a work in progress. By Coral Sands, who's put down 30,000 words this month. Ari Harrison, a shy non-binary moose shifter, is tasked with the somber obligation of delivering their childhood's best friend's ashes to the family mausoleum. But during the snowy trek, gets into a horrific accident. What happens when a predator wolf shifter is first on the scene? As a prey shifter, can Ari survive to deliver the urn while protecting their heart from someone determined to care for them? Coral Sands. Now, I've said this once before, I'll say it again. Coral was one of the first 10 people to join the Discord and has been an absolute joy to have around for over a year now. Honestly, we've been doing the Discord for 2 years. I think so. Coral, so glad to have you here. So glad to see you working on a story that sounds so fun. And of course, come hang out with the 12 chapters of Christmas. And that is all that I have for my little PowerPoint presentation. The other 2 stories that may be in there, I'm sorry, they missed the deadline. You should come and tell me about them in the 12 chapters of Christmas. Everyone, it has been so much fun. And, you know, the thing I wanted to do as we wrap this up was to introduce you to a fun little device over here. This is a little camera. And, you know, last year, hold on, let me see if I can get this switched around. I need to make sure that this is going to work. All right. Hold on. Got the microphone as well. Snap that right there. All right. Is this working? Can you hear me? I think you can. Look at this. This is crazy. Here's how the sausage is made. In case you were wondering. Wow. Beautiful. All right. Yeah. So what I was saying, or what I was going to say, is that we've spent so much time in this little room, and being a writer is way more than just sitting in a dark basement room and typing away at the computer. So what I wanted to do was to take you on a little journey where we can say goodbye to the filming room. Here's Bailey. Goodbye to the filming room. God, it's still so bright out. And go on a little adventure and kind of see why it's important to get out as a writer and go experience the world, you know. So I just hope my connection kind of stays up here. Oh my God. Oh, that is so embarrassing. I'm okay. All right, let's pretend you didn't see that. I think we'll still be okay. You know, why don't we just go out here? So you know I live out here in the middle of nowhere in the woods, so I kind of wanted to show you some of the places I like to go for inspiration, you know? Places to go where I can walk out here and just kind of turn my brain off, and when I go back to writing, I got a little bit more juice, you know? A little dangerous out here. You never kind of know what you're gonna... Oh my God. Oh my God, I think I see a bear. I think I see a bear. As long as he doesn't see me. Stay still. Very quiet. He doesn't know where I'm at. I think he sees me. Okay, I'm in a tree. I'm in a tree. I don't think he can get me. Oh my God, he's huge. What? He's climbing the tree. He's climbing the tree. Oh God, oh God. Oh my God. Ah! Camera, he's got the camera. Ah! 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 Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Ah! Ah! Oh, I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it.
Hey, did you just kill that bear?
A game warden?
Yeah, I'm the game warden. Sir,
Oh,
you're
no.
under arrest.
No, it was self-defense. It was self-defense, I promise.
You're under arrest. Come here.
You'll never catch me alive. My secret weapon. Oh, buddy. We're off. Try to catch me now.
Come here.
Writing should be fun. Writing should be exciting. And if it's not, you're doing it wrong. Look, I don't know what's going to happen next, where I'll be next, Novella November. But until then, good luck out there. See you later.